What's up? Welcome back. Brax here, and today's video is Today's video is for those of you who want to take selling on Amazon FBA very seriously. Those of you who want to take it to the next level and build a brand on Amazon FBA. So we're giving you 5 tips, 5 crucial things to keep in mind if you want to start a brand on Amazon FBA. Now, of course, watch the whole thing if you want the most value, but if you want to skip around, check the comment section below. I put timestamps for different things that we talked about. And before I forget, I was giving away the book Crushing It by Gary Vee. So this is the winner, and contact me on Facebook to send you the book. And for this video's giveaway, I'm giving this book. It's called The 10% Entrepreneur. I read it and I really liked it. So if you want to win this book, all you gotta do is click the thumbs up, click on the bell here or here. I always mess it up. And leave a comment saying why you want to win this book. I'll choose someone and announce it in the next video. And that's it. Enjoy this video. I'm Brax here, and in today's video I have Matt with me. What's up, Matt?
What's up? Thanks for having me back on, Sammer.
Good to have you back on. So in today's video we're going to be talking about how to create a brand on Amazon and kind of doing how to do it for dummies, or like 5 steps, 5 things to keep in mind when you want to create a brand on Amazon. And that's mostly because I'm at a point where I want to do that. I already have 2 products now selling, and I want to start a new brand, something that's not related to those 2, and something that I can grow a product line from that first product that I almost chose. So that'd be helpful to me. And I was just thinking about that, like, I'm so blessed to be in this position, to be able to get you on a call for free. It's kind of like a coaching call for free.
Yeah, I feel like that right now, which is awesome. And I think that's where like the most value comes out, is like, I literally have a coaching call right after this. So it just feels like I'll just forget we're recording. So then I think the good stuff will come out.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm learning, you're getting exposure from my channel, and then everyone else who's watching is learning as well. So it's just perfect position to be in.
It's
so why don't you tell us who you are first? I think everyone knows, but
probably, yeah. I mean, I've been on your channel a couple of times, but if anybody doesn't know, my name is Matt Loberstein. I also have a YouTube channel. I've been doing Amazon FBA for about 3.5 years now. I have 4 brands. I have more than 35 or so products. Been above 7 figures the last 2 full calendar years in a row, and this should be as well. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. And just a brief overview, as you probably already figured out, is that my real core philosophy behind this is to build out a brand and not just go for these single hot, one sort of flash in the pan win that just goes up and then crashes, which I've seen happen time and time again, which is why I've learned to take this longer term approach where you're actually building a valuable brand that is actually valuable, because it's not just this one product that you really don't own anything. So that's kind of an overview of just what I do and how that philosophy came about.
Right. And that's why you're the perfect guy to ask about this. How's everything with your Amazon stuff now? How's April?
It's solid. Definitely a little slow. I have some products that should do better in summer just because of seasonality of different things. So I'm excited for that. Hopefully that I should see an uptick for there, but overall pretty good. And I've been so busy with all these other things that's new for me, for literally for 3 years, I was like Amazon. And now it's like, I get pulled in a lot of different directions. So I need to shift some focus back into like doing my core thing, but which is exciting. And but yeah, I mean, it's all pretty good, and I've got a lot of other things as well now. So how about yours? Like, what's your progress like?
Last week I just launched a new listing.
Sweet.
Which was inspired by what you say, which is copy yourself.
Yeah, that's huge.
The same product, but it's a variation.
Yeah. On a separate listing?
Sorry?
On a separate listing?
On a separate listing, yeah, to capture more real estate on Amazon.
Yeah, that's my thing. I know where you got that.
I probably didn't say it in the video, but I got it from that. Well, let's get started. 5 steps, 5 tips, 5 whatever you want to say.
Yeah, I kind of came up with 5 just sort of things to keep in mind, more than like a step-by-step how to do it, because I feel like we've kind of outlined that in other ways. So these are some things that might, like, they're both tactical and also just ways to think about it, like things that I've learned over time too, that I sort of wish I was thinking about that I wasn't, because a lot of this, even just in general, what I sort of teach and talk about now is like through a lot of mistakes, what I've sort of tweaked about it. So these are like 5 just ways to think about a brand. And so I'll just start point number one is just the obvious of not falling down that trap of doing a single product and actually thinking about a market and not just finding one product. So you have to bake that into your product research from the very beginning. Literally, one of my steps to choosing my first product is the ability for that to be grown into 5 products, 10 products, 15 products. So you need to look at what's related to it and plan from the beginning that you're going into a market, not just one product. Like, your business is not the one product, but it is the market you're attacking, the audience you're attacking, the type of industry. So you need to think from the beginning how it will be expanded. And a few ways that you could think about it are products that are used together. Like, I'll use the example that I use a lot of, say, coffee products. So that means if your first product is a French press, your second product is a coffee canister, your third product could be a grinder. Like, you're doing products that sort of go together in the same use. Or there's other ways of doing it, and it can be difficult to think about how else to look at it. So a few others that I've done or I've thought about are the same audience. So the same type of person would be interested in these products. So not necessarily like they're all for coffee, but maybe they're all for like a certain segment of people, like pregnant women or something like that. And it could be any type of product that would be interesting to somebody at that sort of stage of life. It could also be a single like mission. Say, this would probably be a bad one to get into, but say it's something like weight loss. And then it could be any product that caters to weight loss. That's another way of looking at it and finding things that would be related. Like, what is a goal that people are going to be like on a trajectory going through? And then any product that sort of fits that same mission would be one way to expand. And this is all still just point number one, like how to bake it in from the very beginning and think about it. Another interesting one that I've done and that I think is a really great way to look at is expanding on a material. Like, a specific material of your product could be what your brand is around. Like, so say it's like rustic wood products or something like that. Then like your whole brand could sort of be around that and finding other products that are the same or very similar materials. And that kind of creates an aesthetic for your brand and what it's all about. So
it doesn't have to be in the same category or the same,
right. So
all home stuff. It could be anything, but the same theme or the same material.
In that example, yes. Yeah. So your brand, all the products need to be tied together in some way, not necessarily that they're used together though. So the fact that they're all sort of a material, that could be part of the brand. Like, your brand could be like high crafted rustic wood products. And then that could be a lot of different things, but it's still tied together because your brand now has a central theme, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, it just needs to be, those are all different ways, but they need to be tied together. They have to have one string running through it, and it could be in any of those sort of concepts, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I think that I found a product where I found 2 other products that I could launch in the future. And that's what you're saying, look for a market and not just one product. Mm-hmm. And what I'm working on for that product now is trying to create a story for that product or theme. So yeah, that's point number 1, right?
Yeah, that's the first.
Number 2.
Cool. So second thing, and this is
notes, so you guys should be taking notes as well.
Yeah, definitely take notes. I think this is huge. All of these are huge. So my second point, and this is definitely, like I said, just a thing to think about more than like an exact step, but is this brand something that is a sexy product or unsexy product? Meaning, like, is it exciting and easy to sort of build marketing, build social media, all of that stuff around it? Or is it more of a utility? Is it a need or a want? So something that's a utility or a need can be a lot harder to market in a fun way and do all of these hard things that we really need to think about, like, blowing up social media and getting people excited. And that's the type of thing that will really help build a brand. But the reason that this point is tricky and why I'm saying it's just a high level thing is that it's not a yes or a no. So I'm not saying that it needs to be a sexy product. I actually think there are a ton of opportunities that are unsexy products too, like just straight, like boring, weird stuff. And you can still absolutely build a brand or a product line around weird stuff because it doesn't need to be fun and engaging and colorful and all of that. But you need to have that like line running through your brand. And even if it's super lame, it can still be all related. But I think it's definitely something, like I said, things to keep in mind when you're coming up with the brand is how would this be marketed? So is it fun? Is it something people get super excited about? And you can imagine like, you know, a massive Instagram following around it and people engaging and sharing? Or is it like freaking like, I don't know, like replacement parts for a stove or something? And it's like, it could still, that like anything can be a brand. Like it does not need to be like Nike, you know, like it doesn't need to be the coolest thing in the world. It needs to be cohesive and related. But definitely that's a point to keep in mind, because it's going to affect the way you're marketing. Is it something that you can just blow up and build hype and get people excited and really into? Or are you just going more of like a utility product line type of route?
Yeah, and the perfect example is my first two products, or my first products that I'm selling. I'm not building a brand around them, but I'm still making money from them, because I don't think I can, or I could create a social media presence around them, but I don't think they're that sexy. I'd rather look for something that I would enjoy marketing a bit more.
Yeah,
no, it still works if you don't do it. You can still make money, but for the long term.
Yeah, that's going to tie into my next point too. But just to add on that is everything that I say about brand, like if you can make money and roll that into something more long-term, that is great. Like I definitely have products that I'm way less excited about than my other products. And that's totally great. So if you find an opportunity and it doesn't fit into your one brand, maybe it's the seed for your second brand, or maybe it's just this one standalone thing that you see a huge opportunity and you just want to make some cash so you can roll it into something else. That is cool. But you should definitely have like one brand that I think you do have that longer term vision for. But yeah, I'm by no means am I against the idea of just having a product that makes money. I think in a lot of cases you might even want to start there, because I'm sort of skipping to point 5, but a little teaser is like, this is long-term. Like this is hard. This is years, you know, and if you can find just a quick product, like that's okay. But also like you're not building that long-term equity. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So point number 3.
This is one that has definitely started to hit me after being in it for years, and something that I think people should think about from the beginning, because nobody's really talking about it and nobody is doing it. And this ties in what we were just saying, but is it something you're passionate about, or is it just purely a financial opportunity? And like the last point, this is not a yes or a no. This is just, you need to think about this, because it's going to affect the trajectory that you take with this business for the next several years. And I know from personal experience on several brands that if it is just a financial opportunity, you get burned out on it. Like you don't want to market it. You just get tired. Like it's just draining eventually. But at the same time, like I actually think most people should probably start there, because you have that hustle. You need that cash flow. Like you need to use the financial opportunity to roll it into something more passionate. I think that is sort of the answer. But being aware of that, like, look, if you're listening to this and you have a very stable income already, maybe you have a ton of money in the bank that you're willing to throw at this, you're willing to be really, really patient, I'm talking years, then you might want to go into something that you're actually more passionate about building over years, 5 years, 10 years, like a business that you want to put your face on, you want to be behind it, like you want to really stand for it. Or are you really just needing a source of income such that you can use that cash to put it into the next thing, which is what I did, purely financial opportunity, and then roll that into stuff that you're more passionate about. But definitely something to keep in mind from the beginning, I think, because it's draining to be working for years on products that you don't necessarily care that much about. And you can care about the process, you can care about, the e-commerce optimization, you can care about that stuff. So it's not like it's just purely terrible, but I do think there's something in it about having a product that like you're kind of pumped about. Like you're just going to be more engaged and wanting to grow it if you have that sort of fire, because you believe in it and it's something you personally like. So, but I do want to just make sure that's perfectly clear that like neither of those is right or wrong. It's just that I think people are in different situations and they need to really think about their particular situation and their particular goals and factor that into the equation.
Right. Because at the beginning, when I was learning how to sell on Amazon, most people told me not to go for something that I like and to only go for something that makes sense on Amazon. But why not do both? If it's something that I enjoy and it makes sense on Amazon, because it has to make sense on Amazon. There's no demand, there's just no point. So why not do both, and you'll just put more effort into it.
Yeah. So I even talk about that in the course. It's like, it needs to be an opportunity on Amazon. Like that is absolute prerequisite. Like if you just go into something that is purely your passion, but just makes no freaking sense on Amazon, like you're done. Like it's just not going to work. But if that's the business you want to build, like just, if that's what you envision your life to be, and you're cool with that patience of this might take 5 years to get anywhere, like I think there are some people that want to do that. So it's like, be real with your goals for it, you know, and like what you're actually wanting for it. But if you're trying to play this Amazon game that we're talking about on our channels, like it has to be an opportunity for Amazon. But if you can find the best opportunity that is also something that you're passionate about, and it's a spectrum, maybe it's not your favorite product in the world, but it's at least something that you like, or you can get a little excited about, or you think it's, you know, good for the world, or you think it's something you can get behind a bit, that's still going to be infinitely better than something you literally don't care about at all. Or in general, like this is even almost a separate point, is just like, if your product is just like ultimately crappy for the world, like it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's something we need to talk about more. And like, that's something that like, as you progress sort of in entrepreneurship, you start thinking about more. It's just like impact and the things beyond it. And it's just like, if you're just selling a product that is like not helping people, or it's breaking, or it's just kind of a piece of crap and just, you know, ending up in a landfill, like, I don't know, like it's just not that good, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think my next product is something that I really like, or like the brand is going to be something that I really like and put effort into. And we'll talk about that after the video.
Yeah.
Number
That's
4.
good. Yeah. So number 4 is going to be talking more actual branding. And this is that as you are coming up with that product that leads into a product line, you need to come up with your branding. Like, what is your brand? What is the cohesive tone that carries across everything? And by tone, I really mean more than just wording, but like, do you have like, what are your core colors? How is your wording? You know, is it light and playful? Is it professional? Is it corporate? Is it for females or males or young people or old people? And this will tie into really knowing your audience in the market beyond just being like, oh, I sell this product, but I serve this market, and then tying that in with your brand image. And this goes across everything. And even a part of it is not just having high quality stuff, but it's having everything fit together and have the whole package, meaning your photos and your box and your copy, they are consistent. And for me, I like to use, for most of my brands, it's like relatively informal, easy to communicate with. Like, it feels like a human is on the other end. I think that's great, but I don't think that's the only way to do it. So if you're, you know, in the office products niche and you're selling like high end, you know, stuff for businesses or something like that, then your tone might be completely different. You might go with like very corporate branding, very professional tone. You have to just know who your market is and build that whole package of brand to fit that market that you're going after. Again, if that's like, you know, moms, that's going to be different than, you know, 60-year-old men. And that's going to be different than like, so you have to be clear on that market and then actually build out all of your imagery. And I don't just mean photos, but like the entire visual aspect and reading and copywriting, and the entire feel of it needs to be cohesive and really fit that vision.
Okay. So decide from the beginning who you are and how you want to be perceived and how you want to handle like everything that you just said. You know, make it easier to target the people that you want to target, to find who your market is, to kind of imagine who your, what's that word? Avatar.
Your avatar. Yeah, your avatar. That for sure. And just that, and not only that, it'll be easier to target them, that when that person sees your product, it will convert with them better because they know it's for them. And right. I mean, it ties into your logo, of course, your brand name. You know, these are things you really need to take some time and like think on and make sure you are creating this entire vision where everything goes together. Mm-hmm. It's a heady concept, you know, it's like, it's not like step one, like it's like, you need to just sit there and like, basically imagine it. Like, how does this look real and legitimate and like a real brand? You know how I say, like in the course, like be a product company, not an Amazon seller. You need to envision this as a product company that serves a particular market, that is well-defined, that the logo and the brand name and the copywriting and the photos and the everything makes sense as a whole package. And then that is what gives you, in my opinion, true listing optimization, like more in the weeds of like, you know, how to do your bullet points. Like, well, when you have this whole package, that's what makes it shine, because it's not like there's even a set way to do your bullet points. It's that it needs to fit this concept, right? So whether that is more professional or whether that is more funny and light, it needs to all be cohesive, I think is the best way to put it. It needs to be consistent. It needs to make sense as a whole package. So when you stumble on that listing, you're like, this is real, this is legit, this is not just some Amazon seller in their basement that doesn't know what they're doing that's trying to sell me a product from China, but this is a product company. This is a real product. This is a great product. This is a well thought out, just good all around. And I think that's where it comes through, is from having that whole brand package. Yeah,
that makes so much sense. As you're saying this, I'm remembering the products that I've seen on Amazon, and the good ones and the bad ones, and the good ones all have this exact thing that you're saying.
Yeah, the good ones are when you don't know that it's private label.
Right.
That's the good ones. If you can look at this and be like, oh, this is private label, like something that I try to talk about that, again, it's like not a step-by-step, but it's like one of these headier, weird concepts, is like making it look like it already exists. And it's like, if this product looks like it already exists, like that is what you're trying to tap into, right? Not just like, again, like how to optimize my bullet points, but like trying to make it look like this is a real existing thing already, you know, choosing a brand name that makes it feel authentic to what the market is, right? Yeah. So, and then it no longer looks like a cheap slapped together private label product.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not something that you have to, it's not a crazy thing that you have to do. It's just a small thing to modify, and then it just makes it look much better. It's not like you're adding something to the product or.
Right. And also these are things that, you know, it's not set in stone. These are things you're always sort of tweaking, but you do need to take some time and really just sit on it and think about, you know, what are the colors I want to use for this brand? Well, even before that, what is the exact market? And then like what colors, what copy, what photos fit that? I think that's the key.
Okay. Number 5, last one.
5 is that overview that this is long-term and hard. This is not short-term and easy. I just want to make that super, super clear. You know, this is not how to just really quickly slap something up that's a piece of crap and make 50K in 1 second. Anybody that watches my channel knows that I talk about that a lot, but I do think it's a very important thing to realize, especially when we're talking about 5 points to keep in mind when building a brand, is that this is a different game. We're not playing the game of just like blast one product, you know, page 1, 1 million. That stuff is important, but the brand game is on top of that. You know, it's like the product game, the product leads the brand, the product leads the product line, which leads to the brand. And so you need to understand all of that stuff. You know, I'm not saying ranking is not important or having a successful product is not important. It is, but you're leveling that up into building a brand, which is a hard long-term thing. But the reason that it's important is that's where the value is. Like that's what can be sold. That's what literally actually has value. Like a single listing, a single product doesn't have value. And building out this brand that has a whole image, has a whole package, has presence on social media, or eventually goes into retail. I mean, now we're talking about real product company things that are not just Amazon private label. So yeah, I mean, I just think that's a core thing that you need to keep in mind, is like when you're doing this brand thing, you know, really, I mean, for sometimes I'll say, you know, think a year out or 2 years, but like, I mean, on some level, like you could think 5, 10 years out. I mean, especially if it's something you're passionate about, really thinking about what it could be, and realizing that it's hard. It's not like it's not one of the little hacks and tactics. It's building audiences. It's having that brand image. It's having people that will talk about your product. Those things take a lot of time. People organically searching for your brand because their friend bought it on Amazon and then they talked about it or stuff like that takes years. And that's where then nobody can come after you. So
yeah, it takes time. It takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. And I wish more people talked about it that way. Like you talk about it in your videos, and I want to remember to talk more about this, that it's hard. Like some people talk to me and they ask, can I make that much money next month? I need to be making that much money in 2 months. And I've been doing it since last April, and then private labeling since October. I haven't seen any money from Amazon, and I've been investing even more. So it takes time, it takes effort, and it's not you work on it 1 hour a month like some people say.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reality of it, is that and it ties in with your goals for the product and the brand and the business. Because if you're trying to scale a physical products business, you have to realize it's just going to take up more and more cash. Like, it's not going to just be spitting out money. Like, I have so much inventory. It's like ridiculous. I mean, like, it's like, it's not just like money is just pouring into my bank account. Like, it's not like that, but you're building something that could be valuable and sold. And there is money in it, obviously, but like, something I'm trying to talk about more, and I think it came through even in this video, is really understanding your goals for the business. If your goal for the business is to make a couple grand a month and pull that out and, you know, like, just have a side little income, that's cool. But if you're trying to build a scalable, growing, major brand, like, there's not just gonna be money that's spitting off, but you might be building something that could be sold for 7 figures or 8 figures. I mean, it's for sure doable. Or 6-figure sale, like selling your business, then you cash out your inventory, all of that, ridiculously doable. I mean, they typically sell at like a 2 to 3x yearly in profit multiple. So, and then that cashes you out of all of the inventory, all of that. And, you know, yeah, I mean, you get it, but like, it's so doable to do that. And that's the interesting part, in my opinion. But people need to realize what they want. And if they're coming to us and they're like, I need to make money next month, then it's just like, I don't know how to help that person either, other than to give them other ideas and to make them realize what this opportunity is about. And it's not about making 10 grand next month. That's possible. Like, I've seen it. I mean, it happens, but even if you make 10 grand next month, the reality of it is you're going to now take let's say you put in 10 grand and you made 10 grand. Well, now the reality of it is you're going to put 25 grand into more products. And now you're going to be minus 5 grand, even though you made 10 grand. So yeah, I mean, that's the reality of it if you're trying to scale. If you're just trying to have this little side income thing, those are different goals. So I think the more people can get real about what they're actually trying to build, I think that's important. And so that's something I'm trying to talk about more, is really dialing that in and then making your actions map to what you're actually trying to do. A couple grand a month or build a 7-figure exit. Very, very different. It's just hugely different.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. And yeah, 5 steps to create or 5 things to keep in mind if you want to create a brand. I think that was very valuable. I think that's one of your best videos so far.
I think that was awesome.
And I'm proud of that.
Yeah, you're good at getting in and out of me. So
and so yeah, your course is called Zero to Brand, which is exactly that.
Yep.
Last question, because I know you have to go. Why did you create a course, and why is it priced the way it is, and why did you do it?
So I never planned to do it, but I did it when people came to me and asked for it. That's the truth of it. And I used to think selling information was weird. And I think on some level, a lot of people do it in a way that is not good. But I had people wanting to pay me to get more, right? And that was what shifted my mindset, was that it could actually be an appropriate value exchange, meaning they're paying this much and they're getting more in return. That was my goal through creating it. I put ridiculous amount of time and effort into it to make sure that that exchange was there. So I built it because people wanted it, and the price is what it is because it's not, you know, filmed in one Saturday and like, you know, I mean, this course is, I mean, you've seen it, so you can speak to it. It's way more professional. It's over 110 videos. It's over 10 hours. You know, I just really wanted to make it like a whole package. And the other key is that it's not just like zero to sell on Amazon course. It's zero to Amazon to brand. It's like, it really is, I think, and let me know if you agree. Like, I think it's the roadmap for the next 3 to 5 years of your business.
Right.
From zero to the first few years. I mean, it's more than just like how to get up on Amazon.
Right, for sure.
And that was my intention. And
it's not just you click this and you click this. It's a lot of what you saw in this video, how to think about it and how to plan if you're just how to think about it.
Yeah, it's both. It's like how to do product research, but then it's also like how to plan, like some people have asked me like, oh, can I just buy the scaling section of the course? And I haven't done that because I think that, as you can see even in this video, is like those scaling ideas, they go all the way down to like literally video 1 of the course. Like, you have to have that baked in from the beginning. You know what I mean? So it's just the whole thing is a web. And that's why it was so hard for me to even plan, because everything overlaps. Like, it's really not just like, and there is the click here type of stuff in the course. Like, there is step by step, but the reality of it is like this whole game is like a million pieces of a puzzle. So it's like a web, and it all goes together.
And I think that's where the value is in your course.
Yeah, I think so too. And I'm glad you think so.
Well, if you want to check out his course, there's a link in the description, and it's my affiliate link, so I get a bonus if you use it. So thank you. And I really don't want this to be a pitch, but I hope you saw the value in this video. You don't even have to look at the course, just enjoy the value in this video. And if you want to say something before you leave, because I know you have to go.
No, I totally agree with what you said. Like, whether or not people buy it, I want them to get value. But if for those of the people that do want like everything A to Z, it's in there. And Samer's deal is like ridiculous. So like, I think he's giving you guys too much. No, but like, so I mean, seriously, it's that's quite a generous offer that Samer's throwing on top. So I'm sure you guys will really get your money's worth with that one. So yeah, I hope to see a lot of new faces in there soon.
All right, awesome. Thank you guys for watching, and Matt, I'm sure we'll stay in touch and we'll do more videos like this.
Yeah, love to.
See you in the next one. Peace.